identify.
My name is Lory Rouse. I am speaking for Jesse Rouse, my husband. My name is Jesse Rouse, and I'm an innocent man. I was 35 years old when I was falsely convicted of a crime that never happened. Now, 17 years later, I'm 52 years old, and I'm still in prison. I'm not the only one that's doing this time. I have 4 co-defendants. We are all from Yankton Sioux Tribe in South Dakota. At the time of our trial, there was 5 of us. 3 of us are brothers. We all have the same mother and father. My brother Dwayne Rouse was found innocent of his charge. I truly feel if this was about justice, there would never have been any malicious prosecution, judicial injustice, and improper, ineffective assistance of counsel with many errors. That includes filing the 412 motion. My lawyer, Mr. Stephen Binger, never filed. 3 or 4 months later, our trial, Mr. Binger came to visit me while we were locked up in the county jail, waiting for our trial. Mr. Binger shows me statements of my young family members stating that this was playing house with each other. I'm not a lawyer by any means, but when Mr. Binger tells me he will file the 412 motion, he's a lawyer, I believe him. Why would he lie to me? The children's statements will come out at our trial. I truly believe Mr. Binger would file the 412 motion. The truth was going to come out at trial. The day of our trial, Mr. Binger stands up and asks Judge Purcell if he could enter the 412 motion. At this time, Judge Purcell looks at the prosecution as if they all know what they're doing. Just so happens the U.S. Attorney has a legal book of some kind and opens it to the page where it's stated, Mr. Binger and all the other lawyers had ample time to file the 412 motion. The judge denied us the 412 motion. I just put my head down and I looked at my brother. I shook my head and said, here we go to prison. The 412 motion was our freedom. Now we have been wrongly accused and wrongly convicted of a crime we did not commit. I appeal to you for justice and fundamental fairness, which is the cornerstone of the Constitution. I appeal to you for my freedom. My brothers and I have never had a fair trial, no due process, no equal protection, and no fundamental fairness. I am an innocent man, and I ask you for your help. For some of you that are reading this for the first time, I have a family, 4 children. Now all my children are grown up. Now I have grandchildren, all beautiful. I miss all my family. If I had to do all this time when I get out, the probation says I can't be around anyone that's under the age of 18. People out there, you have no idea how much that hurts my heart. How am I going to show the love that I have for my family when I can't be around them? It hurts me to write this. I miss my family so much. It hurts. We all need your help. My family needs your help. This statement is the truth and nothing but the truth. Jesse Rouse.
And allowing other information that would potentially free, it's exculpatory evidence. It's about introducing exculpatory evidence, isn't it, of any kind of nature into the trial, and obviously anything that could have freed them, any kind of information that could have freed them was excluded.
The 412 though mainly was for the kids' sexual activity.
For 2 or 3 of the
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
So because that would have explained, maybe would have explained something to the jury or to the
Why?
judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but that was excluded, okay.
So I thought it was very telling when he said, turned to his brother and said, we're going to prison. The 412 motion was their freedom, he said.
My son, Moses, who I'll talk to later, came forward first. He was one of the kids they never took. And he's the one that told the lawyers first what had happened. And we thought it was all going to be brought up, and then all of a sudden, no. And it was explained to me exactly like how I explained it to you. It's like a girl that gets raped they cannot bring her past sexual history into the courtroom.
All right, so you're going to need to tell us, since nobody has yet, what it was that the children had been involved with.
That's all online as well. It's all online. It's all just
Kids were playing house.
You know, there's
Right.
yeah.
So the kids were playing
Being
house.
sexually active. Honestly, all adults were drunk. We're not paying attention.
But we're not talking about all of them. We're not talking about the little ones. We're not talking about
No.
Fury, Jessica, Rose,
No.
Lucretia. They just caught up in all this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they've just been taken and then used to convict the 4 guys. They're not even part of the other story. You know.
The day they came and got the kids,
Did you watch the video actually, Bill? Did you?
The-
Yeah, okay.
the I remember that day we went to buy groceries, and Ursula and Kay were at the house with all the kids. And we got back, and there was a BIA cop, and and I don't know who she was, a social worker, and they were grabbing kids, and I'm like, and all they had with them was like a little tiny piece of paper, not a legal document with saying I'm going to take these kids. It was a little. Speak. Take this off. You speak.
So a couple inches wide by
Yeah.
8.5 inches long.
They didn't know the kids' names. They didn't even know I was down there with my 2 kids. And they grabbed all the kids but Moses. And Moses ran. Well, and then we were told to talk to Dan, to go down to the tribal hall the next day. So we all went down there, and a guy named Dan Hespeth was there. And we all sat down, and he knew who everybody was but me. And he goes, "And who are you?" And I told him who I was. And I go, "You should know who I am. You got my kids." And one thing about Dan Hespeth, we all thought from the get-go he was FBI. He wore the FBI jacket. He never really, I guess in a way he didn't tell us who he was, or maybe we assumed because of the jacket and all that he was FBI. But it didn't come out until the actual trial that this guy was only BIA, which is totally 2 different, jobs.
BIA meaning Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Right. 2 different. But we all thought he was FBI. And he told us that there were accusations of child endangerment in the Rouse house. And we're all looking at each other and wondering, what was going on. We really didn't know what was going on. And I went down to tribal court, or the council, every day, and I started talking to the lady that had my kids, and her name was Jean Brock. And she thought I was just another white girl. And she made comments like, well, Indian women aren't going to fight for their children. Indian women, all they do is drink. Indian this, Indian that. Well, I already knew then she was anti-Indian. She's a white girl now, working in a tribal court. And I'm looking at this place, wondering actually why there are white people there. This is a Native American council, but they have white people staggered through the building, still controlling everything. I found out that Jean Brock, not only was she a social worker, she was a foster parent. She was taking kids out of homes and literally putting them in their own home. I started hitting the meetings every week. Every week I hit the meetings. And I got her fired. I mean, that's so conflict of interest above. The girls all went back for their kids. We're taking Vita and Ursula, and they all got denied to get their kids back. I was the last one. But I kept on thinking about what Jean Bark said about being a white woman. Well, I was raised white. I can play white. I got a lawyer, and I got my kids back. After that, though, Jesse's name got put in the bucket. And next thing we know, I had my kids back maybe a month. Desmond, Garfield, Russell were all still there around my kids, but I knew it didn't happen. And but one day, they surrounded Vita's house. And Vita was great that day. The house was being surrounded. Dan Hudspeth puts his head through the window. She just slams that window on his head. I was laughing. And but they wanted in the house. And they go, are there any guys in here? And those are the exact words. Were there any guys? Well, my son Chris was there. He was 4 years old. And we go, yeah, in the bathroom. So they walk in there, and there's a little 4-year-old taking a shit. And they walk out, and they go, where's the guys? And we're looking at them. We don't know. Jesse's at work. I don't know where Desmond is. I had no idea Russell was in there. Garfield, Des, to us it was like a joke because we knew it didn't happen. It was like, really? But next thing I know, all the guys are arrested and gone. I had my kids. Wasn't soon after that, though, I followed them to Sioux Falls. The feds don't like me. I don't know why, but I was kind of told I could lose my kids again. I had to leave. Bad enough. My dad was an ex-cop, and I was raised to believe in a system that works for everyone. Well, the system does not work for everyone. And it threw me in shock because no matter what, we believe what our dad says. And we went to court, all white jury, every single one of those. And they are middle class, and I'm a Christian, but you gotta understand, middle class Christian people. I knew when I seen the jury. It was a closed court. Didn't get to see it all because I had to testify, and until I could testify, I couldn't be in the room. I do remember watching the jury, a couple women that were on the jury, talking about something about Indian people got all their tax dollars, and we all lived in $60,000 homes.